Gorpulations. Welcome back to Gorponomics. This is Josh. I'm Josh, and this is Gorp. I'm here with Frye. Say hi, Frye.
Hi, Frye.
Hi, Frye. We're gonna just take a minute this time around. We got people moving and people doing this and all kinds of excuses. So today we're just gonna take a little breather and do one of those old get to know the staff kind of things. Last time we did this, it was me, so now it's on Frye. We're gonna learn a little bit about Frye and see what this jerk has to say. What do you think about that?
I think that is ideal, since this is one of the things that you and I were able to finally get off the ground. Wearing a logo shirt from one of the things that we were not able to get off the ground.
Yeah. We made a drinking game, and it's basically poison. You really shouldn't be on the market.
It shouldn't be called WSB. It should be called death. Just death.
Yeah.
You'll die.
This shit right here. All right. Well, we got some questions. Some of them are good. The others are not. We're gonna see where we go with Mr. Frye. We're gonna start in the normal way you might at maybe a cocktail party or a business luncheon. Give me your elevator pitch for your life. What's your move? Maybe if your life is a movie, what's the elevator pitch for the movie?
Okay. All right. You're going to give the impression like you are BMOC, but in reality, you're just that person that goes with the flow and isn't afraid to just do things because no one else is going to get it done if you don't just do it. That's kind of how I've lived based on a movie pitch. But elevator pitch of my life is really one I haven't thought about. Essentially, it's just like, man, you can't go back in time. Some bad shit's going to happen. You're not going to be able to change the bad shit. So you might as well just move forward and learn from it.
And that movie's going to be called Life is a Highway. The story of Brady. It's going to be like Bad Boys 2, where they play Shake Your Tail Feather every scene cut. Every time it goes to a different scene, it's going to be Life is a Highway. And it'll just echo off, highway, and then it goes to the next scene.
I want that, God, why did the movie just leave me? That Johnny Depp, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, sunglasses staring at the highway look, but with a way different, happier vibe.
You don't have a demon smile on your face. You have a regular smile on your face.
Just a regular smile.
Yeah. All right, that's cool. Now here's a question.
And less chains.
Here's a question. Maybe we'll come back to the movie bit, but maybe a little more obscure. The question is, who was the coolest?
Who was the coolest? Gosh, it just depends on where we want to go with that question. If you're talking about like in the football world, Tim Brown. I thought he was just the coolest ever. And then like as I grew up, I had like a rebellious stage that was very young. I was way too young to have a rebellious stage. But there was DX was the coolest for a while for me.
X?
I thought Degeneration X, NWO, just the outside that was so appealing to me as somebody. It was so weird to me because I've since shifted to like the heroes. I love the hero side, but I don't know why. It was just they weren't villains, right? They were heels. They weren't villains.
They were evil.
Maybe Hollywood Hogan was a villain. Heels, not villains. And I thought it was as somebody that tried to do the right thing and desperately wanted to be cool but didn't really know how. I thought they were just the best.
They're the guys that slap the spaghetti out of your plate and just laugh about it.
Yeah.
Not really villains.
And just like
cool. Like they were cool in the bad boy way.
I thought it was effortlessly cool, except for Triple H. There was a lot of effort there. But everyone else was effortlessly cool in that group for some reason to me.
Yeah.
I thought that they were the coolest. And then like in my adult life, I think that people like I don't look at like lots of people look at money as something. Lots of people like worship dollars. I look at people that just like do the right thing and don't have to like spread the news everywhere that they did the right thing. I think those people, even though we don't always hear about them, I think those people are just the coolest right now. Like literally, like that you're not on TikTok or Instagram and be like, look, I gave this guy $5,000.
Yeah.
Just like, hey, you just do cool stuff. I think those people right now are the coolest.
Yeah. Pretty cool dudes. Those folks.
Or chicks, or
Yeah.
ladies,
Well,
or
everyone's a
people,
dude, bro. I'm a dude.
or zeros and ones.
Dude. We're all dudes. It's a pronoun friendly term, dude. Okay.
Or bro.
Well, wait.
Isn't it weird? I don't mean to like throw this interview into a weird direction, but isn't it weird how bro became a non-binary term?
Bruh.
Like everybody's bro.
Yeah, I think,
bro. Like moms are bruh and bro.
Bruh, yeah. There was a little cuspy era. It goes back and forth where man, like, hey man, come on, man. Like that was almost universal, not quite, because people still didn't like it, of course. Because when you call someone a man, it's I'm not a man. Shut up. I am. Bruh, definitely works. I like it. Why not? It's just really relaxed and casual, and casual wins the day in the end.
It hit us out of nowhere, I think. Like I wasn't expecting it, but one day I was at my father's house, and like all my stepbrother and my stepsister were all like, "Bro, come on, bro, bro!" To like everyone was bruh and bro, and I was like, "What is happening?"
Yeah. But tell me about Tim Brown. What's his deal? I don't know who that is.
Oh, he was just I was like a 5-year-old kid that really just was obsessed with football, and he was the greatest Raider that existed. Okay. He was the only Raider that was always on the team. Like he was the only him and Steve Wisniewski, Lincoln Kennedy. They were like the only constants. We had different running backs every year. It seemed like a different quarterback every year. Still a different quarterback every year, except for we had some 10 years or so of Derek Carr. But Tim Brown was a North Star. He was a constant. Okay. He was always in the uniform, always 81, like 17 years. Probably one of the greatest stats receivers of his day, as far as stats were concerned. And he was just a bad man. He was always going over the middle, which a lot of wide receivers were afraid to do.
Yeah.
He was always over the middle. He was just a bad dude, always in the silver and black, always played, felt like he was never hurt. Like, did everything, returned punts, caught the ball, ran jet sweeps. He's just the best. I think he was ahead of his time. I think in today's NFL, he would have crushed people.
This is early 90s.
Heisman Trophy winner. Yeah, it's... so I believe he was drafted in 1988, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. You could fact check me. I didn't do prep for this show, everyone. I kind of had an idea that he wanted to interview me, so you can't really prepare for that test. So I didn't do prep, but I think it was 1988, Heisman Trophy winner out of Notre Dame. And so I was just born. So yeah, I really was cognizant of him. I want to say around 5 years old.
That's cool. And it's interesting you went straight to football with that. Who was the coolest? But I guess that's common, like it's really easy to go to the GOATs first, At one point, White was the coolest. Or Michael Jordan, of course, was the coolest for a while. Dion.
In that era, I mean, it could have been Power Rangers at 5 years old or so.
Yeah, they were the coolest.
It could have been, Bret the Hitman Hart at 5 years old or so. It could have been, I'm trying to think of some other things that were super impactful. Wolverine.
Sure.
It could have been Wolverine or Michael Keaton's Batman. Yeah. Those were all the coolest things.
For sure. Wolverines. Okay, here's a good one. Tomorrow, there's nothing else to watch or listen to again. All forms of entertainment on cross media, they're just gone forever. What are you going to do now?
What am I going to do now? Well, go outside.
TV screens.
Go outside. Hike a lot. Walk a lot. Lift a lot of weights. Probably learn how to read. I've struggled with that my whole life. Not knowing how to read has been rough. But become more interested in learning. Probably pursue more degrees at a more vigorous level than I have. Like, got the associates, got the bachelor's, got a lot of classes under my belt on my way to that just are irrelevant because the credits didn't transfer to the degree. So probably like pick up certifications, go out, talk to people, train people to be better, show people like efficiency isn't everything, and what people often want you to see isn't really who they are type stuff. Sure. Train people on that.
Okay, but what about people have their comfort show like Office or whatever it is at the time. So when you
Hmm.
have your downtime and it's just time to just chill, what are you gonna be doing? Like painting your toenails or what?
But there's no entertainment, you said, or is
Yeah.
this a different question?
Well, no, it's the same question. I'm just saying, like, of course, yeah, all you'll have more time to do all that stuff, but like, there's going to be downtime where you would normally turn on.
Oh, just in downtime. Like, what am I gonna do with my boring time?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, read or actually like learn, like commit myself to make music. Like I've
Ooh.
always like I know I'm not like I just the problem is I've never had like backing in my life, if that makes sense. I've had like parents that were like, yeah, we do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But I've never had like someone that's like, you're so great at this. Do it. We'll give you resources.
Mm-hmm.
We'll make sure that even when you don't want to be held accountable, we'll
Yeah.
hold you accountable. Like even this for me is me for the most part. Like you do hold my feet to the fire when it comes to crunch time. But for the most part, a lot of the shows and a lot of the editing and stuff, it's me saying, hey, this needs to get done. I don't have anyone pushing. I really wish I had that. Fun story is a side note. My mom can corroborate this.
Right.
I really wanted to play the cello, like so bad in third grade.
Cello, huh?
So I thought it was the the bass, you know,
Yeah.
the bass of the string section. Like I thought it was so cool. Like your string 808. I'm just playing, but
Really dope.
but I loved it, and I thought it was big, and it was kind of interesting. This goes into how I was raised with this hyper toxic masculine culture of the 90s, you know? And well, as far as my upbringing is concerned, I don't know if that's everybody's experience, but like, be a man, you got to be a boy. And I saw this big, huge instrument. I was like, that to me, in the mind of a third grader, that's a man's instrument, right? I know it sounds funny, it sounds weird, but put yourself in perspective of someone in 1995 that's like 11 years old, 7 or 8 years old.
Like a battle
I'm like, so
like the big one.
I thought it was, dude, I thought it was the coolest thing. I did it. Like from the moment I saw it was a lady that sat down and played, I was like, in my head, I was like, that is so badass, you know? And I wanted to play it. So I went to the music class and they teach you a couple notes or whatever. And then you have to take a music test. It's just a basic test, but it's like an aptitude. Mm-hmm. And if you scored a 90, and this is the story of my life on aptitude tests, it really is. And it's not that I don't try. It's that I don't know how necessarily to put my full self into things. Like you see me get mad or get frustrated and just thrash somebody at something just because it happens. But that's super rare. That's like me needing to put you in your... And then I don't really care. Like, I give the impression that I care about a lot of things, but in a quiet moment, people that actually listen to me talk, they realize, oh, Frye, he doesn't actually care until you get him to that level. Like, there's a point where he cares, but for the most part, I just want to have fun with people. And I want... It's weird. I am still that guy. I joke around that I'm not a lot, that I'll just whoop your ass. But, like, if I see that you're miserable with it, I'll give up a game. Like, whatever. Like, if it's your identity to win at everything, you can win at everything. It's not it's not my identity.
Well, that goes along with...
I like being good at stuff.
When you said...
Go ahead.
I don't know what episode it was, but you said you always let the lady win.
Yeah, just... I couldn't... And it's like, I can't help myself. But anyway, so this goes along with a lot of that. I took this aptitude test, and I assume I've had this mentality. It's hard to go all the way back there and put myself exactly in that moment. But I assume I've been much like I am now, which is like, just pass. It's not that big of a deal. Mm. Like it matters what you do with it when you get it. Mm-hmm. You just gotta pass and get there. So do the bullshit so you can actually do the job and be badass at the job.
Right.
But don't worry about the aptitude. Screw it.
Yeah.
And that's always how I've lived my life, is like, just be good when you get there. Like, get there. And I scored an 89. An 89. And you and I have talked about like the top ramen and why I hate ramen, because it's like all we ate for a long stretch of life was like, that was lunch and dinner, you know? Yeah. And we were so broke. We were living in the guest room at my grandmother's house. And my mom, man, dude, bless her. She drove me all over a town called Livermore, California, just looking for someone that would rent us an affordable cello, because I missed the free cello, the free instrument, by 1%. She drove to like 4 music stores in one night. My mom did. Wow. Looking for somebody that she drove to pawn shops too, just looking for a cello, like trying to find, and she couldn't, and she was like apologetic. I'm sure she felt terrible knowing my mom, but she didn't show it. Like she tried to be tough and make me tough. Be like, we tried, just can't do it. We can't afford it, and it
Yeah.
really sucks because if anyone's familiar with Livermore, there's a lot of affluent people there. Like it's even back then. There's a poor section, but even in the poor section, like across the street, you have people with money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it blew my mind. I was like, man, you got. It's just like it's kind of where our society is. It's almost like an allegory to society today. Is like you got all these rich people and all these people with the means to get these things for their children or their family, and they have the means to have a tutor, so they get a 90. Meanwhile, you have these ghetto kids who ain't got shit and no tutor, and no parents have no musical ability to help them study or to help them learn, and you're like, screw them, they didn't pass the test. And that just but you know what I mean, though. It just doesn't sit right with me. It doesn't make sense to me, and that's probably what I would do is I'd finally find a moment if there's no entertainment, no video games, to teach myself music. Like now, I'd love to learn digital music and how to produce music. But I'd probably take that time to do that as opposed to drowning myself in work to run this rat race.
Rat race, it's the worst. Da, 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 da. Okay.
Sorry, that was long-winded.
No, it's all good. Now let's get back to the show as a whole. If you can remember, what do you think maybe was your favorite Gorp episode? One that really strikes your memories positively. How?
So the one that stood out to me that I felt like we could have done better so far is the Apocalypse episode.
Oh.
But that one was a lot of fun to do. It was fun to talk about. And it was me at my most arrogant, unfortunately, and I hated that part of it. Because I could do that. I could do that. I could do that. You know, and I didn't want to come across that way.
That was funny. I mean, you have to have confidence there. And it's also just like, it's really something as a certain type of dude thinks about that crap a lot, especially when they're younger. So like, there is part of me as well that thinks I could survive with just a knife and a canteen. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun though. Shout out to Mark Swan was there, and I think was it Jess?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jess, it was Jess. I miss Jess. Jess is
back for at least a guest spot soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, I hope so. But yeah, that was a fun episode, and I suppose I'd also answer your question with this was our first year, and just get out there and just start recording, just start putting content out there, and the audience, you guys watch. We've got probably, I would say, we're growing still, and I don't think people grasp that and that we accept that because we still have haters, but I kind of block them or I ignore them. We do.
Tell me their names.
Don't worry about it. I protect us, but I protect us from BS because the thing is, like, we are growing, and we're growing from no platform, no background, no one knew who the hell we were really, and we've got over the 3 shows a solid like 200 people that watch every month. Every month, a solid 200 people. Even though we only have 68 subscribers, like there are 200 people that watch every single month, and I that blows my mind because it's an honor because who the hell are we? And I think it lifts people's spirits. I think it's awesome. But yeah, I think so. I say all that to say, I don't know necessarily that what will be my favorite episode has happened yet, but the Apocalypse episode was great.
All right. Well, aside from Apocalypse, maybe you could think of like a specific topic that maybe you would have liked to expand upon that we didn't quite hit right, or.
Well, what was your favorite episode today? Really quick, if you don't mind me asking. I know this is in the Josh interview, but what was your favorite? Maybe I have something there.
Cool. I can't say exactly. I really love every episode we've had with Brooke, if I could be honest. Mm-hmm. She just makes me giggle a lot, so that's pretty cool. I really did. Okay, now I remember. I enjoyed when we talked about books to film and stuff. The book episodes.
Adaptations?
Adaptations. Yeah, that was good. And we talked about books in general, too. That was really nice. Jess was great on the show. Like I said, I'm hoping she comes back sometime in some form or fashion. But, I like those episodes. And I like when we get silly and we can start bouncing off each other like that. It's nice to get serious or calm and collected sometimes. But the sillier we can make it, the better. And it's nice when we have differing opinions besides two bros shitting around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I think it'd be fun to really sink into a lot of different topics. I suppose the video games episode, I think that would be. I think the keeping it light and funny and whatever. That's kind of my fault in production and trying to keep it that way to build out an audience. And I know sometimes we have we have a cry out right now with a lot of members of the team that want to get a little bit more deep, a little bit more personal. And I do too. I would like that, and I would have liked that in the video game episode. If we were to go more into like, what did these video games actually mean to us? Why did we? Because the people that did that show, we all used to play video games at a fairly fair amount. You still play a lot of games. Like, you always tell me you don't have time, but somehow you're like, oh, I played that, and I'm like, you tell me you don't have time all the time. How do you get to all these games before I get to these games? So I think it would have been fun to like, what's the meaning of that, or what does it do for your psyche? I think that would have been fun.
Yeah, for sure. Gorp has never really had a set mission plan, and I think that's for the best, because they have plenty of shows that are about something. And I'm not saying we're the Seinfeld of podcasts, but I'm saying we're allowed to be nebulous with our subject matter and our tone from time to time, and we always want to lean on something a little more easy to listen to, pleasant, something to do when you're in the traffic or whatever. But yeah, I like.
And Serial just popped into my head.
Serial was the best episode.
I really would, man. If there was an episode I was mad I wasn't there for, it was that one. Yeah. I was like, oh my god! I was like editing it in post production, and I was like talking about. I was like, you didn't say this, like the whole time.
You forgot about the crunch man. Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, how did you leave out the Smash Frog? He does a drop kick right on the box.
Oh boy. Okay, well, here's a new question, or maybe a challenge rather. Quote a movie now.
You want me on that wall? You need me on that wall.
What was that?
A Few Good Men.
Oh, I haven't seen that in years.
The first thing that popped into my head.
I was thinking.
It was the first thing that popped into my head. Or, like what we were talking about in pre-production, I could have done, who's the baddest? Show enough. Who's the meanest? Show enough. Yeah. Like, because that would I just watched, so that would have popped in. But I don't know, A Few Good Men popped into my head.
Yeah, check us out soon. We'll have the popcorn and beers. Maybe it's already posted by now. I'm not sure, but going to be talking about some The Last Dragon in 1985 kung fu movie. Check it out, as well as other stuff.
I think it's a good film. Right on the back of Black Dynamite, I do.
Yeah, it was good because you see, part of what was in Last Dragon got used in Black Dynamite as the spoof stuff. Next question. This doesn't have to be movie related. It could be anything really. Coolest costume. What was a cool costume?
George Clooney with the nipples. No, I'm just kidding. The coolest. So here's the thing. We'll go WWE first. Obviously, classic Undertaker is one of the coolest costumes ever to exist ever in the history of ever.
And that would include
I will say though,
and the urn, right?
Yeah, the whole feng shui that it brought. Yeah, the whole kit and caboodle, if you will.
He had a devil's eye in him.
R.I.P. Paul. But also, that joke? I never got that as a child. Paul Bear. I never got it until I was an adult. But Kane was. I thought Kane, when his brother existed, I thought that was a pretty badass costume myself, cool, yeah. With the black mask and the black and red. I did like that costume quite a bit. But if we go to movies, I've always loved Logan, just the regular Logan costume, just like old man. I can't. The white tank top is what we'll call it. I almost called it a bad name that we can't call it anymore.
We call it wife lovers.
Yes,
which is even
but with the cowboy, but you know what I'm saying though. When he had the cowboy boots with the bootcut jeans and the cowboy belt buckle, I thought that ensemble was awesome. I thought that was one of the coolest costumes.
for sure. Wolverine throughout
Yeah.
the comics has that with the addition of the brown jacket, but
Yeah.
he looks good when he's all hunky tonked up.
Yeah. Michonne from Walking Dead. Michonne's pretty badass. And
Mm,
then
totally.
I like her a lot. And Black Panther. Or dude, 70s Luke Cage. Set with the
You like that?
fro and like
With
the
the chain
like
necklace.
it's just I don't know, man. It's the time. It was
That's
the
pretty good.
time.
That's
What do you?
pretty good.
Yeah, like disco Luke Cage.
And
Like,
like,
what
yeah,
are
he
you
had
gonna
that
do?
like frilly silk yellow shirt. Like that's a choice
Yes,
right
with the V cut. Like,
there.
come on. Like mustard color, frilly. Like that was. I mean, it's the 70s. What do you want from him?
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
think
those I think are some of the coolest.
I'll always probably go with Ultimate Warrior as a costume.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
his costume is so good, everyone forgets that he was a garbage wrestler and a bad person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's how good his costume is.
Yeah. And
And
think
his-
about like how many like post-apocalyptic like face paints that inspired.
Absolutely.
That face
Yeah.
paint. Like, you right? Like it had to have.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's a
Pretty
good one.
stuff.
Macho Man
Macho
when he was
Man, Randy
king.
Savage, for sure.
When he was King Macho Man Randy Savage
King
with
Macho
the frills and he'd spin around in the ring. Like, yo, the cowboy hat. The cowboy. Oh man, did you
He
like
was
the black
pretty
and white
slick.
checker? Man, did you
I
like
like
the
the
black
one
and
he's
white
all-
checkered or like the orange, yellow, green style?
I like the orange, yellow, green, and I really loved it when his
Okay.
costume had like holographic, like reflective effects.
Yes,
He was a
like
sparkle
the
lord,
disco
you know?
mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah, him and Queen Elizabeth. Whoo!
Coming up on time, I suppose. I have one pressing question and one pressing question. So that's two questions. One of them is if you could guest, like maybe to plug the SadFan Network, you are a guest host on some other podcast. Where would you like to go?
The Dan Lepetard Show with Stu Gatz.
The Dan Lepetard Show with Stugatz.
That's where I would like to plug the show.
Yeah, you listen to that. Yeah, that's cool. That's a long show. Though. They do like 4 hours still, right?
Yeah, I mean, I admire the work ethic. I admire the message. I mean, like, it's funny because no matter what you do, because they were able to be successful at it first, you're going to be seen as imitating. But we've been trying to do this as long as they've been doing it, which is develop a company with our friends. Like we tried to do with movies. We were writing scripts in our office. I don't know if you remember that on the weekends in your finance office. To movies that we wanted to do. We were trying to be artists. We were doing that. You were getting mad at me because I didn't know how to write dialogue properly because I'm not an artist. I can just write, dick. But also there. Exactly.
Good, right?
But there was. I mean, we've been trying to do something that would generate enough revenue to where we could work with our friends and just have a good time at work and just like you said, shoot the shit and have people understand that you could do a job and be happy for a long time. And I think that's what they do. So I would love to be a part of that and show like, hey, we're out here working, we're out here grinding. We have a similar message, not quite the same. Sometimes we're wrong, sometimes we're right, but we're okay with it.
Yeah. I'm known for just saying wild and wacky things like don't protect your joints when you're playing sports. But I'm also the first one to happily say, oh, that was dumb, right? Yeah. Anyway,
Yes.
that's cool. I think if I was going to do one, it'd be fun to be on. It'd be fun to be on Two Bears, One Cave if Bert wasn't there that week. I guess
You and Jordan both. You and
It's
Jordan
too much,
both
dude.
from Popcorn and Beers.
I can only take him sometimes. Sometimes he's funny, and sometimes he's a good interview. He's got a new one now. He's talking to Kevin Smith. And did you know Kevin Smith is like one of the pioneers of podcasting? Like it was him and three other people once upon a time.
Comic Book Men? Was it Comic Book Men? Was one of the things?
I think it was
he had that
Smod
show
or something, Smodcast, and it was like
Oh,
2007.
okay, 'cause
He's been doing it since then.
He had Comic Book Men where the show would always divulge divulge, pardon me, into like a podcast with the three of them talking.
Oh yeah, that might be it. But I just know that he's been doing it since 2007, and he was talking to Bert about that on Two Bears, and he was just like, "I've been doing this for almost 15 years, and I'm the only one on my show. I'm looking around here. You have 15 people in your cast, and you're renting a property. You know what I mean? He has a team. So Kevin Smith. He's like, what did I do wrong? What am I doing wrong here? Because you have all this equipment and this staff and stuff. Anyway, that's enough. Okay, and finally, the most important question: no more kissing, or no more dipping sauce.
No more dipping sauce.
You'd be cool with no more dipping sauce?
I mean, I don't. I just told you about my nuggets experience on my way
here.
here.
Yeah, you did. Just eat 20 nuggets dry, raw dog in it.
Yeah.
Just shoved them in there.
Yeah. So I mean, I go without dipping sauce quite a bit. Plus, you didn't say without a spread, so I could still, like, if I want a Chick-fil-A spread across my burger bun, my Chick-fil-A sandwich.
You can't dip your fries, though.
So I would be able to dip my fries, but I could put the fries in the burger, in the chicken sandwich.
Fried burger is acceptable, yeah.
But no, I eat my... You're going to be mad at me. I don't use ketchup, man. I eat my fries just normal.
I don't eat ketchup. We know no one likes ketchup. Oh, because...
I don't eat them with anything, to be clear.
Yeah. Yeah, ketchup...
To be clear.
Wow. America and the rest of the world... ketchup is the worst condiment. There's always a better option than ketchup. Always.
Now, as you wrap the show, Josh, future Gorp show, just condiments.
Condiments is a great topic.
Yeah, that's a show. We could do a show on condiments.
Condiments. Yeah, that's good. We can talk about, or we would just go sauces. Oh, but condiments doesn't necessarily mean a sauce, because relish is not a sauce. That's a condiment, though. Cool, yeah. I'm glad you made the wise choice, because I like a dipping sauce. Maybe not as much as the next guy, but I do like it. But how can you go? I asked this question last night at work. I'm at the bar, and everyone, like 5 people, like 2 employees and 2 guests, are like asking all these questions. Like you said, a spread, does that count? What about this? What about that? What about this? But no one asked about the rules about kissing. They're just like, they're cool with that. Nobody wants to know about that. We should ask for some stipulations there before we talk about sauce.
How impersonal would sex be if you couldn't kiss? It'd be so distant. There would be no attachment. Maybe it's better to go no kissing because there's no attachment. We are here for one reason.
Heaven, perhaps. Yeah, maybe if it's all business, but I mean, kissing's where it's at, dude. That's the number one for me. Kissing's the number one.
That's where everything starts, man.
Yeah, so I guess that's it. Now we know everything there is to know about Frye and nothing else, ladies and gentlemen.
There's nothing else.
Soon we will see some things. But as you turn out, you can get the last word, I suppose. You want to shout out the other shows you got going on the network or anything else you want to say?
Yeah, I mean, we're continuing to grow. We're hoping for a website by the end of June. June will mark our first year in this. I think at some point, June, July, we're going to go on a bit of a hiatus for some people to get some rest. I mean, we really pushed it hard. But we've got Gorp. We've got some other things we've talked about, making like a single monthly appearance, right, on the network. Like a monthly show we've got talked about in the works. We've got merchandise in the works. We've got Popcorn and Beers, which for a while there was our most popular show. Please go back and watch it.
Yeah, that's good.
Because you may not be interested. Yeah, you may not be interested in the titles that we're talking about, but I promise you, we cover everything. Like, it's wild, the range of stuff that we cover on Popcorn and Beers Entertainment.
Yeah, very often we'll talk about, like, we're talking about this movie you watched this week, but we go in through, like, 3 or 4 different movies, comparing and contrasting, and we talk about a lot of movies that aren't in the hashtags, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Great show. Great feedback from 3 different perspectives with 3 different styles on that show. And it's really the way you would talk about movies outside of Jordan, who just gives the best reviews. Like, I don't know how he does that. He does it so well, so flawless.
Yeah, he's pretty
but you and I,
pretty smooth with it.
Yeah,
Runs
you
off
and
the
I
cuff,
just
and you're
like.
you're aiming with the gun. I'm just shooting with my eyes closed. You're aiming, and he's got the scope.
So and then we've got the Sad Fan, which is suddenly, I don't know how. I appreciate it. I love all of you, but it's shot to the top of our charts at the Sad Fan. I hope we keep making you proud with it. And you can reach us all at the Sad Fan Podcast Network on YouTube. There's going to be a lot coming, and you can reach me at the Sad Fan 12, and you can reach the Sad Fan Show at the Sad Fan Cast. Popcorn and Beers at Popcorn and Beer without the D on
Popcorn
And
and beer.
Josh, you got Josh here at Gorp.
Yeah, I'm at Gorp Show on the gram, and personally, I'm J.R. Berkeley on the gram. Twitter as well is at Gorp Show. And hey, we'll see you guys soon. We'll have a regular episode coming up. I think Brooke's coming back. Maybe Angelucci will be here soon. Like I said, looking for some guest spots from old Julie and old Jess. We'll see what happens. We got a lot of ideas, and we'll close out this first year pretty hard. Hard.
Appreciate you.
Bye, guys.